Hope everybody's doing okay. Trying to get myself up on X over here. You know, my usual deal. Can't cut yet. Can't cut yet. Not yet. I am glad you joined me for today's show. I have a really great show lined up for you. I think you're going to like it. That's not it. That's from last week. I think today is going to be just a real rich and harmonious journey between some like sherried sweetness and some bold Nicaraguan cigar flavors. I think you're really gonna enjoy it. If I can ever get myself up here, the way I can see what's going on. Anyway, it always takes a while. Today I am pairing the Macallan 12-year-old Highland single malt Scotch sherry oak cask, and I am pairing that with a Cristobal Revelation cigar. There's a lot of stuff going on. I think it is going to be a really great pairing. So we are going to go ahead and dive right in and get started on this thing. The Macallan 12-year-old sherry oak cask. This is a single malt Scotch. It is seasoned in. It is aged in exclusively in sherry seasoned oak from Jerez, Spain. I think that's how it says. I think it's how it says that. And go ahead and and also I am a member of the Macallan Society, so I have that beautiful little copper my Macallan bottles. I like it. It's very, very elegant and distinctive. But look at that. That is just a beautiful, beautiful, deep kind of golden amber with nice glints of copper in it. It is such an elegant spirit in the glass. I love the Macallan 12. There is actually two 12s. There's the sherry, which is this one, and then there's the double oak. I've the double oak, but I really love the sherry. I like what the sherry casks bring to it. That is a lovely spirited glass. And there are some hints of ethanol burn, but not much. Sorry, I'm still on the thing over here. But what I really get is some rich dried fruits like raisins, figs, maybe a sultana. You can look that up. Like warm baking spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, clove. It reminds you kind of maybe a little bit of Christmas time. Deeper down, there is some really good notes of dark chocolate and a little bit of orange peel, and maybe some really rich oak, and then some nice wisp of and maybe even some like toasted almonds, something like that. Let's go ahead and give it a drink. Part of this is I'm going through for your benefit. As you can tell, I've had a little bit of this. It's not the first bottle. But, I can't just come out here and just start telling you about it. I have to really, I have to make it engaging, right? I have to make you want to watch. And I was saying all of that and forgot where I was. On the palate, it's nice and full body, but it's silky. The first wave of kind of sweet, shitty fruits, like plums, dates, raisins, that kind of fruit. More of the muted fruit. I love like dried dates. I love those. They're wonderful to me. I could sit down and just eat a bag of them. But, you know, anyway, where are we at? All right. After the plums and raisins and dates, lions and tigers and bears. Watching college football. We have college football back. My Aggies are undefeated. They're off this week, so they're going to remain undefeated. And I am just hoping that they can hold it together through SEC play. There's some tough. And we'll get back to the whiskey thing in a second. There's some really there's some tough games coming up. The SEC is all tough. I know you got the Big 10, the Big 12, the Big whoever, and they all argue over what the best conference is. But I'm telling you, it is just the SEC is a rough conference to be in. Even like Vanderbilt, they're not just a patsy anymore. They could beat you. Speaking of patsies and beaten, poor old Arkansas. I told my wife I was watching the game just before I came on here, and it was in the third quarter, and Arkansas, Memphis had just scored, and it was like, I don't know, 26-31, something like that. It was close. And I said, I'm like, you watch, Memphis is going to F around and win this game. And sure enough, they did by 1 point, 32-31. I was like, oh, Arkansas fans. Because now they're like, I think they're 2-2. They just lost to Memphis, which is not in a major conference. It used to be the Big East, but now it's something different. I think they do still hold their card for being in the playoffs, the championship playoffs, but I can't remember for sure because there was just a lot of crap that went on. Memphis got into the East because it was a basketball school, but it also was a conference that did have an eye to get to a bowl game, and this was before the college football playoff thing. And I'm not sure if that conference they're in now, it's like the American Conference, and they renamed it. I don't know. I need to look that up. But anyway, all right, let's get back to the whiskey. And I've still not found myself on X. I'm just like, really? Oh, there I am. All right. Yeah, now I'm up. I also get like chocolate and then toffee and some more orange zest, kind of mid-palate. You get this nice kind of gentle oak tannins and some spices like cloves and ginger. And that gives it a really nice structure. And then on the back end, you get these hints of like roasted, a little bit of espresso kind of bitterness, which kind of balances it out. Now, the finish is medium to long. It's warming and elegant, which is one thing that you can definitely say about it is elegant. It's got this lingering dried fruit sweetness that kind of melds with ice and kind of that gentle oaky dryness. And then there is kind of just as it fades out, there's an echo of cocoa and then some citrus peel, not specifically orange, but citrus peel. It is a wonderful spirit. If you've never had the Macallan 12-year sherry oak cask, you should go out and get somewhere between like $60 and $90. It kind of depends on where you go. I know, especially bourbons, whiskey. Scotches, they may stay high for a while because they have to come from Scotland, but birds have been coming down, and the allocated stuff there's a whole lot less of things that are considered allocated than there used to be. Saw a guy with a post on some things that you shouldn't be paying premium prices for, and he got to a bottle of E.H. Taylor batch, and they were selling it at that liquor store for like $139 a bottle, and that was just made this last week. And I bought a bottle of that exact same spirit E.H. Taylor small batch like a month ago at one of the liquor stores that I go to, $65. Yeah, they were whatever that place was, they were trying to charge twice as much as what I paid for it. I was like, that's just crazy. All right, let's move on to the stick, the San Cristobal Revelation. I love San Cristobal cigars. I have yet to try one that I have not liked. I mean, it gets points just for the band. I love the pen, and that whole theme that it's got going on there, because as you folks know, I am a Parrot Head and a Kenny Chesney fan. I want to retire to the beach. That's my goal. So anyway, this is handcrafted by the Garcia family, Pepin Garcia. You may be familiar with that name. In Nicaraguan. It has a Nicaraguan filler and binders wrapped in a beautiful Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper. It is kind of a medium brown. It's got a slight oil tinge to it. And minimal painting. I mean, there's some painting on it, but what there is, you can just barely see. There aren't any real, maybe right here is the most pronounced vein on the entire stick, and that's not really all that pronounced at all. The seams are invisible. I can't see them. Now, the nose. You've got a nice sweet earth aroma coming off of it, with some really very good notes of cedar and cocoa powder. Some hints of dried fruit and maybe some toasted nuts. So I think you're kind of already seeing some parallels. You had some cocoa, you had some dried fruit, you had some toasted nuts in the Macallan, and now in the nose on the San Cristobal, you're getting some of those same things. And I think this is where we're gonna really, this pairing is gonna really mesh together very well. Let's go ahead and give it a cut, because we are I'm 13 minutes in. I ain't even lit the cigar yet. Man, one problem. That sucks. Pulled off a piece of the wrapper that was stuck to the band. It's really the only thing that you have that, you love all the banding and everything. It's really great. But if you do elaborate with it, you could wind up hurting your stick. That can be said about anything. That's what she said. So let's give it a cut, give it a cold. Pull my Herf double finger over. We're going to give this one a usual, very nice V cut. These are my favorite cut. This is the Cassetti multi-cutter. As you can see here in the middle, it's got the V cutter and the guillotine cutter. And then on the end, it has a punch cutter. So it's really great. It comes in a little velvet pouch. You can put it in your pocket, your lighter. Cigar lounge, not really sure when you walk in there exactly what you're going to buy. You have a tool in your pocket that you can use on anything. And that's what she said. All right, cold draw. You are getting more of what you got off the nose. Some cocoa, some kind of sweet wood, little baking spices in there. There's kind of a subtle, maybe raisiny like sweetness. And I think that will kind of all come together to kind of foreshadow the richness that we're going to indulge in here momentarily. I also, while I'm rolling, does look like there could be a little hint of tooth in it, some little oil pockets. We'll see how that goes. I love those. Oh, and it has a beautiful, very large triple cap. All right, let's toast her up here. Add a really nice retrohale on it when the smoke comes out my nose. It's very tart, almost like lemony in your nose. It kind of drew your cheeks in just a little bit. Now I got this little cheap single torch just to make sure that I can, because I have a lot of, I'm not the best lighter in the world. That's one reason I use the Rocky Patel Envoy with five flames in it. Because, it's just the way it is. All right, keep going. Really great volume coming off this stick. You might be able to see that as I was letting the draw out. It's a creamy sort of medium-bodied cigar with more roasted nuts, some leather, which I think is the thing first that we have introduced in either of these offerings. And there's some faint dried fruit in there. The retrohale, you get, as I mentioned, you get that nice little tartness, but you also get a pleasant spice, like an overwhelming, like black pepper spice or something like that. Maybe a little more white pepper, a little more subdued in my view. But oh yeah, really great. Now, the finish is very smooth. It's got a rich velvety smoke. It lingers, kind of a medium finish on it. Not super long, not short. You get some cocoa, some spice, a touch of sweet earth, and it's got a really balanced medium body without being harsh. But let's try them together. Wow. The ceiling fan is on, and there's just a slight breeze out here rustling the trees, so that's why you saw the smoke kind of wafting and coming out. This particular smoke is fairly heavy and hangs in the glass really well. Doesn't mean anything. I think I say this every time. To me, I keep the smoke in my mouth as long as I possibly can before I take a sip, and that helps me meshing together. But I don't know of anybody else that does it for any other reason. My initial impression is that the Macallan's sherried sweetness immediately complements the Revelations, cocoa, and kind of fruit character. The sip softens the cigar spice somewhat while kind of elevating that underlying sweetness that's in it. Really, very, very good smoke. Excellent spirit. And this is it's a medium-bodied cigar. It's not like the light shade coconut wrappers. It is a little bit darker, but it's very approachable. Someone that is not experienced in the cigar world, just into the cigar world, has maybe tried a couple of the really light wrappers, and they're like, you know, I want to see what it's all about with the darker wrapper. And I always tell people, I say every week, keep your training wheels on until the appropriate time. But this would be a really good cigar for that next step up. Very good cigar for that next step up. These two are excellent together. I mean, excellent. That really pisses me off about the second band. I mean, that is the only thing you can find to complain about here. And I mean, that's a big thing to complain about, because you don't want it to, and there's really no way to stop it from going any farther. Once the cigar starts heating up in here, it's going to expand and it's going to crack more. I am going to try something here because that's right on a leaf vein. I don't think I can get it in there. I can't. I was going to see if I could cut it with my cutter and cut that vein off, but yeah, that sucks. Well, I got a few more of these. We'll see how it goes. Arkansas, I mean, Auburn and Oklahoma. It's a good game so far. First quarter, tied up at 3. College football season. Got my tickets for our annual A&M game. When you take 4 or 5 folks down there, unless you're a big shot, and I'm not. Y'all guys that get me monetized, maybe I can afford to go down to more games. But it's a 7-hour round trip, and I won't make it in one day. So got to spend the night. And I'm like, well, if you're going to spend one night, you might as well go down Friday night and stay till Sunday. Hang out, go down, eat at the Dixie Chicken, go by Aggieland Outfitters, roam around the campus a little bit, make a weekend of it. I mean, I've got 2 more in the bullpen warming up down there. I've already had 1 graduate from there. I did some graduate studies down there. Got these 2 wanting to go down there. You know, it's like all the other college fans that are not A&M fans are like, yeah, it's a cult. Okay, yeah. Okay. We're gladly take that. We don't care. That is just I mean, it's a wonderful combination. Now, those that may not know a lot about Scotch, this is a high single malt Scotch. Highland is one of the 5 Scotch growing regions. You have Highlands, Lowlands, Speyside, Campbelltown. Highlands, Lowlands, Speyside, Campbelltown, and Islay. 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 And Islay is I think it's a peninsula. I don't think there's a gap between it and the mainland. I hadn't looked at geography that close, but it is a small, like, peninsula sticking down off of Scotland on the western side, southwestern side of the country. And Highlands and Speysides are known for their low smoke, low peat flavors. And then Campbelltown and Lowlands, maybe kind of in the middle a little bit. And then you have Islay. Generally, heavy smoke, heavy peat. That's where, like, Lagavulin and Bruichladdich, those are down there. Bruichladdich classic laddie. That's their base Scotch. It is actually, to me, pretty low smoke, low peat, and it's a great Scotch, and it is very distinctive. You can pick it out almost immediately because it is in a baby blue bottle. It stands out. But I typically prefer Highlands or Speysides, which is your Macallan, Glenlivet, Glenfiddich, Aberfeldy, the Dalmore. The Dalmore is an excellent Scotch. Excellent Scotch. The 12-year, which is their base Scotch, is the best. They have a 12, a 15, an 18, a cigar series. I haven't had the cigar malt, but I've had the other three. I had a hookup with the representative in this area for the Dalmore, and he got me samples of all of them. And then I've got a bottle of 12-year. And the 12-year is, to me, it's the best. It's almost like a dessert. I mean, there's like chocolate and cherries, that just general sweet. If you like, take a chocolate covered cherry and you got all that little stuff around the cherry inside, the liquid stuff is just like sugar. All of that in the same bottle. Oh, excellent Scotch. Sorry. I'm getting a little excited. I was listening to my my boy Dave Maggs, his live stream last night. They were talking about, as we talked about college football, they were talking about their picks. I think every one of them picked Arkansas to win the Arkansas-Memphis game. Sorry, Dave. Probably messed up your bracket right there. That may have messed up your picks for the weekend. Memphis is actually turned around. They used to, but they were just a few years ago. They started off the season ranked, I believe. I mean, like low ranked in the 15 to 25 area, and they didn't stay there long. But the first time in my memory, and I lived in Memphis for 20 years, that I ever remember being ranked. Still to this day, and this goes back to when Peyton Manning was at Tennessee. That's how far back that goes. Peyton already retired from the NFL. Tennessee came to Memphis to play and lost. There were more Tennessee fans in the crowd than there was Memphis fans, and there were grown men crying. Grown men crying because Memphis had beaten their beloved Volunteers. I hate the Volunteers, just like I hate the Longhorns. Sorry. I'm a little passionate about that. Some really nice stacks of ash. Now back to the show. But right there, you see that darker spot? And you of course, you're not going to be able to see it on camera, but there's actually, it's kind of like playing Jenga. So pulls one out on the side. So I'm not going to take any chances because you know what happens to me in this event. I'll go ahead and tap ash because I like to tap ash. That way it doesn't wind up in my lap. I mean, there's a lot to be said for some good ash, you know. It is what it is. This show is all about the veiled references. I don't know about this one, Oklahoma and Auburn. Not an Oklahoma fan, but not an Auburn fan either. And I heard that the Auburn coach, I don't know, I didn't hear it directly out of his mouth, but I heard that boy right there messed up. He should have just let that ball go into the end zone. It was off, and they could have brought it out to the whatever they bring it out to now, 25, 35, whatever. And but nope, he catches it and then tries to turn around. Oh, he even went into the end zone. He tried to run it out. Should have just let that ball go, man. Should have just let that ball go. You thought you were going to run for 7, going to run 98 yards for a touchdown. Dude, just let it go. You know, your offense is having to start from the 2-yard line. Looks like they may have looked to the 3. Anyway, Hugh Freeze apparently petitioned the NCAA to keep the Aggie crowd at a lower decibel level so it didn't mess up his players. Dude, that's part of the game. That's part of the game right there. You know, you go into Mississippi State and they ring them damn cowbells. If fans are yelling loud enough to affect players, you need better players or they need better coaches. So, that's my thoughts on that. We're not quite halfway there. We're getting close. It's a good one. Yeah, I was happy as I could be when Texas lost the other day. And I think last weekend, I think they had some patsy, Sam Houston State or something like that, and it was like 72-0 or something. But last week, my Aggies beat the Fighting Irish in Notre Dame. Now, I like Notre Dame. I'm not going to say anything bad about Notre Dame because I like them. But it was in South End. I gave up. I did. I've been an Aggie fan for a long time, 15, 20 years. And we had a modus operandi of getting into a game, and then collapsing in the fourth quarter. Well, we got down, 3 minutes left in the game. James scores a touchdown. Goes up by 6, I believe. It may have been 5, but it was more than a goal. So they, kick off to us, and I'm like, this game's over. They can't win in a field goal, so they're going to have to touchdown. So I turn the TV off. But I can't give up. I'm watching, the play-by-play on my phone, the little phone, and it shows the ball moving. So I was keeping up. I didn't 100% give up, but I was just like, yeah, I think this game is over. We're going to lose. Because it is, going into one of the, a big-time program, like a top 20 type program, going into their house, it's tough to beat them. And that's any big school. So you're already kind of fighting from behind, but yeah, I was extremely excited when I saw us score a touchdown with 13 seconds left. Yeah, kick 'em. So. Personal foul, horse collar. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what that was. And then just ride him to the ground. Gives Auburn a fresh set of downs to play from. So it looks like we're getting a halfway mark here. So I'll tell you what I think. As the whiskey's kind of oak and spice deepen, the cigars, roasted nuts, and leather, they kind of echo back, and this creates almost like a dessert kind of interplay together, rich and rewarding. And you get some, the notes of fruit and chocolate and wood, and really go together very well. I have, again, the only complaint I have so far is just that little spot on the band right there, or on the wrapper where the second band tore off part of the. Those of you that joined later, because there's a couple of dozen on here, or close to it now. When I took off the second band, that happened. Hate it when that happens. And if you notice, most people will leave the band on until the cigar gets up close, And that's because as the warmth comes up through the stick, like the stick is warmer, it's warm to my fingers right here, but down here, it's really not. So as as that warm section continues to move down the cigar, it'll warm up that cellulose glue that they use, and makes the band come off really easy. But I have a habit of taking second bands off. You know, I probably shouldn't do that, but you know, it very rarely happens like this. It just is what it is. All right. Oklahoma's already had 3 sacks. The Auburn quarterback today. Oh, dog! It went right through the. Oklahoma was about this close to having a interception, because that's where that guy, his defender's hands were around the football, and it went right on through. Wow. If you are a seasoned cigar smoker or somebody that's been, maybe you're getting kind of ready for your training wheels to be trained, San Cristobal makes some of the best cigars as you continue to march up the strength range out there. You know, they're not mild, they're not strong, they're really nice medium, they smoke well, they're very approachable, they have some really good palate flavors, some very good aromas. Can't ever say enough good things about them. I'll get it out there in a minute. And today is Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez' birthday. Happy birthday, baby. She's at a movie with, you can technically say all 5 of our daughters. We have 3 daughters, and then we have twin nieces that they're in their 20s. They're out of college now and have their careers and doing well. But their mother passed away from cancer about 7 or 8 years ago, and they were still in college, and they're not ready to learn. We kind of adopted them, kind of tucked them under our wing, and just treated them like ours. So she's having girls' afternoon, watch Friday, and then we are going to Babe House. I know it sounds wonderful, doesn't it? It's actually a staple here in the on the north side of VFW. I mean, you'll go and you'll have to wait in line to get in, sometimes an hour or more. It's just a rustic looking place, some old farm equipment outside, right in the middle of Frisco. Matter of fact, you can almost see the City Hall area from there. And the way they do it is you order your entree, which is chicken fried steak, chicken fingers, fried catfish, and then they bring out mashed potatoes, creamed corn, green beans, biscuits, and they'll keep bringing them until you tell them to stop. It's a great place to eat. It's a great place to eat. I ate breakfast this morning. Had a normal cereal that I eat, well, basically every day, and then I had some a little bit of chips and queso and a little bit of street corn from Torchy's. My wife brought it in. She came back from being out for just a little bit, and so I nibbled on that with her some. But I was saving my calories tonight because I also have pie, like coconut cream pie, chocolate cream pie with a nice meringue on top. She didn't want a birthday cake. She wanted pies. I like pie. Every time I say that sentence, it makes me think of the nerds. This is going along pretty well. We're at 39 minutes and we're over halfway in. Cigar normally should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 45 to 60 minutes. Some cigars may go over that. Some may go under that, especially if you have a cigar that's much shorter, say a 4.5 inch, or if you're smoking a cigar that's really large. One of the flathead cigars, there's a 7 by 70. So it's 7 inches long, and it's a 70 on the ring gauge. Now, a 70 on the ring gauge will not even fit in my guillotine cutter. That cigar is shaped. It might not even get in my V cutter. That's a cigar. That's a lot of cigar. That's more cigar than I'll smoke. I typically stay in the Robusto to Toro Gordo range, somewhere between like 5 inches to about 6 1/4. And Oklahoma just scored a touch. And a 54 or so on the ring gauge is probably about as big as I'll go. I like the 50 to 50, maybe a 60, 50 to 60. That is about it for me, just on my normal smoking. Now, if I pair one that is, it's larger than that, I got to give the fans what they want, but just on my normal smoking, I don't. That's too much for me. I ain't afraid to admit it. I mean, I'll give up on a poop after about 15 minutes. So. That's all I got to say about that. Yeah, if you have never tried one of these San Cristobals, specifically the Revelation, and it's probably a Revelation, but it's just from Central America. Revelation. I don't know. This one. What time was it? 3:45. I'm doing good. We got dinner at about 6:15. So last I heard was 14 people. Big family. Need just a little bit more. Not a lot. I'm a member of the Macallan Society. Probably going to have to buy a new bottle of Macallan here pretty soon. I don't drink it very often. It's one of those, like I said earlier, between $60 and $90, somewhere in there, depending on where you're at. And it's one of those like a Blanton's or even the E.H. Taylor's, or even though you can get them now for about $65. The Dalmore 12 is now around $80. I'm very frugal with those. As much as I like them, I'm very frugal with them. I'd much rather drink something that's $40 a bottle most of the time, and only have those out, special occasions and whatnot. Or, I just feel like having a little glass of that tonight. That's what I did with the bottle of Johnny Walker I had. I actually had it for several years. Still have the bottle, even though the bottle is long empty. A little case it comes in and everything. But that's like a $225 bottle. That was a gift. I didn't buy that. And it lasted a long time. And I wasn't really that crazy. It's very expensive, but I like Johnny Walker Green. If we're talking Johnny Walkers, I think the Green or the Gold Reserve is probably their best. They've kind of changed names in there. There's like the Green Label, then there's the Gold Reserve. There was a Platinum edition. There's an 18-year-old mixed in there in the Gold Platinum range somewhere. Those I really like. When you go down from that, you get down into the Johnny Walker Blacks, and then the Red Label, which is their base Scotch, is aged for like 3 years or 5 years. I think the minimum for Scotch is 3. I'm not big a fan of the Blue Label. They came out with a lot of different things there for a while. Some stuff that had something with Game of Thrones and everything. And try all those different things. And they now have a high rye, which I'm like, Scotch is supposed to be malted barley. I guess you could do that. There's some very particular things about Scotch. Number one, it doesn't matter whether you use 100% malted barley or not. If it's not distilled and bottled, and maybe the bottled may be wrong, but I know distilled and aged in Scotland, you can't call it Scotch, or the Scottish government will sue you. They're serious about it. So you see a lot of whiskeys. Well, I've got one in there now. It's from Keeper's Heart, and it is a single malt, but that's what they call it, a single malt whiskey. The Japanese, they've tried to get into these Scotch type whiskeys, and theirs is always called malted whiskey because you can't call it Scotch. It's sort of along the same lines as bourbon that is actually distilled and aged in Kentucky. You can't call it Kentucky bourbon unless that happens. And then you have the Kentucky straight bourbon. And there's some other rules about that too. But I've had some really good whiskeys that were bourbons that were not from Kentucky. Kentucky is like the Mecca, but there's some bourbon makers here in Texas that have some Garrison Brothers. I really love their stuff. And then I do like Keeper's Heart, but Keeper's is an Irish whiskey, but they'll blend it with bourbon or American whiskey. Keeper's Heart's got some stuff. It's very affordable bourbon too, but you can't buy it around here. You have to order it from them. They'll ship it to you if your state allows that. We're still going strong. This is a great pairing right here. You all that tuned in, you are witnessing a great pairing in action. I'll go back. I'll probably, after this, I will probably go on live stream on Rumble. You want to jump over there and tell them what they missed. I need to try to start live streaming on Rumble again, and I can carry to where I'm carrying right now to X and to YouTube, but I'm also live on Rumble. But their live streaming is a little glitchy. Sometimes it's hard for you to get on and to go live, where I use one stream. And even though one stream is not a platform like Rumble is, where you can go watch it on on Rumble, you can't watch on one stream. I'm technically only going 2 platforms, YouTube and X. But if I can get Rumble to work right, I think if I use a computer, it might be better. But that's just, then I have to bring my computer out here, which is my technology. I have to get here and get set up. I really need to have the computer plugged in because it draws a lot of power, unlike the little mobile devices. So, and I got a new mobile device coming. I got the iPhone 17 Pro Max will be here Monday. So I'll be able to get rid of the old Samsung over here that I use to watch myself on X, and I'll be able to use this phone, my old 15. That'll be my secondary, and I'll use the 17 for actual streaming. I'm excited. Very excited. Had a little bit more curling, as you can tell, as it's up there. Not as bad as it could have been. I smoked a cigar. I can't even remember what cigar it was. It wasn't for live streaming. I was just out here smoking. And I mean, like, a big old section of leaf came off. And you're basically smoking the binder and the filler at that point, which a lot of the flavor comes from the wrappers. That's why the wrappers are really one of the most important parts of the cigar. I mean, they're all, you know, the real pros that are more pro than I am, they'll tell you that the wrapper really makes the cigar. It's like San Andres, the San Andres Mexican leaf has become the hot thing to use as a wrapper, and it's because of the really great flavors that it has. Every so often you'll see a cigar that the binder is a San Andres wrapper. I have never, in my experience, seen a cigar that used the San Andres as a filler. So, would use it as a filler if it wasn't an extremely important leaf. Oh, a little bit more came off. Not much, but a lot. Rocco next door. So now I've got two spots. Even the second spot there, as you can see, is very tiny. Yeah, it really doesn't. I mean, you know, it makes a little difference, but unless it comes off in a huge chunk, you're not going to notice it that much. If it comes off early, smoke up near the top, then you're probably going to have more problems as you go down, which could indicate that your cigar is a little dry. Probably need to be a little bit of humidity in your humidor. This was nothing about the dryness. They put a little bit too much cellulose on the wrapper when they tacked it around there, and it kind of ran onto the leaf and glued the leaf to the wrapper. Anything to action. So that's why I'm not faulting San Cristobal and Garcia family for that one. Other than their guy or lady, their tobacconist, whatever they call them, they used a little bit too much. That's my 95-pound doorbell in there. She heard Rocco. Her and Rocco love each other. Every time that dog goes out the door, the one next door, Rocco, they'll open the back door. He's a miniature Labradoodle, so he's not very big, but he's like 8 or 9 years old. And he will just, yep, there's the dog. He will just bolt to the back fence, barking all the way. You know, I guess that's her boyfriend. People, this is an awesome smoke. Seem to have slowed down a little bit. We're getting almost down to the end here, and we're running 53 minutes. So I don't want it to hit 60. I think after that it may shut off or something. But I can kind of go ahead and tell you what I've been feeling as we've gone through this last half here. Sorry, a little bit of tobacco. Don't like that. As we've gotten closer to the end here, wow, can't believe he caught that ball. The flavors have stayed rich, engaging. You've got a little bit of, you know, like bitter espresso and things of that nature. It's come in here at the back. Sorry. You know, hard to get through an entire show live without something happening. But the pairing really showcases how a full-flavored yet refined single malt can elevate a bold yet balanced Nicaraguan cigar. That was a catch. The Macallan 12-year sherry oak brings dried fruit and sherry sweetness and just the nice elegant spices, while the San Cristobal, the Revelation, brings in layers of cocoa, cedar, and sweet earth with just enough pepper to keep it lively. And as you know, we're really getting, I won't go over 60 minutes. So but you should definitely sip and puff slowly. This duo will reveal new little nuances every draw and sip. It's an ideal match for those that enjoy depth and richness and like a seamless harmony in their pairings. You can't go wrong. You really can't. It's amazing. Well, I will cut it off. I thank you all for sitting through this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. As much as I enjoy bringing it to you, please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, ring all the bells, all the whistles, all that kind of stuff, so that you know when I'm dropping new content. I'm posting all the time, mostly on X, but I still do post over on Instagram. And I'm just about to top 10,000 followers on X. Woohoo! Should do it today. And I really appreciate all the love that I get. Be sure to tune in next weekend while I'll have another delicious pairing. Also, I have a really great t-shirt design on my Printify store. You can go to X. It's Printify. I don't remember the whole thing. It's Printify, and then it's Sticks-n-Stonez. It's a link. You click on it. It takes you to my Printify store to a shirt that I have. It's my bestseller. It's just got the red, white, and blue American flag on the front, Sticks-n-Stonez underneath, just about like this, just small. And then on the back, it's got a full-sized soldier in desert camo with his helmet, his goggles, dust bandana on. It's got his M4, and then it's got the Isaiah verse. The Lord asked, "Who shall I send? Who shall go for us?" And then underneath the soldier, it says, "Here am I, Lord, send me." Especially after what happened with Charlie Kirk, week and a half ago. He really embodied that verse. He was going out into hostile territory every time he went out and invited people that had different views to come and debate him. One in his honor. Wear it proudly. It comes in more than a dozen colors, a litany of sizes. You'll love it. It's about $20. You should do it. I've got two. So, till we get to be